Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another weather forecast here, and this is now back in the tropics here, as we talked about a winter storm a couple hours ago. But we're back and merging back in the tropics. We have Invest 92 and 93L that now have a 90% chance for development in the next 5 days that are off Africa now and possibly heading into the Atlantic. Most likely we'll go out to sea here, but we're going to continue to see whether that will be the new trend here. Obviously, as well, we now have a new disturbance now, possibly that's going to form off North Carolina and actually head for maybe the southeastern coast, and we still have another disturbance there in the western Atlantic here. But we're going to be watching what these disturbances are going to do, could they form, and all of that. But we could very well see Paulette and Rene before the peak of the hurricane season, which is in around three days. So I think it could very well possibly have those two tropical cyclones before, which means we will have 17 named storms before the peak if both 92 and 93L do form before September 10th, which would be extremely impressive here. But before we get into the video, please subscribe if you're new, hit the like button and the post notification icon. But without further ado, let's get this tropical forecast. So here's look now at the National Hurricane Center update here, and as you see, there we got 93L, 92L. This is our new disturbance right here that's going to possibly form and maybe head for the southeastern coast of the United States here. It's just near Bermuda, and it's possibly heading. But they could very well form over Bermuda, could form right before hitting North Carolina. But this is disturbance number 4, and it has a 10% chance for development within the next 48 hours and a 30% chance for 5 days. They're going to really monitor. Maybe could we have a weak or moderate tropical storm landfall for the southeast, mainly the Carolinas. That's exactly what we'll be looking at. But this is our new disturbance here. As we're out talking about 93L, which is officially an invest, and here it is at a 70% chance for 48 hours and a 90% chance for the next 5 days. So both 92 and 93L have a 90% chance. On the other hand, 92L has a 90% chance for the next 48 hours as well. So this could very well form in the next 2 days or even less. So that could very well be Paulette, and that could be Rene, most likely. And then we obviously have this other disturbance here that has a 10% chance for 5 days. This one probably it's going to be the least likely to form here out of all of these. But definitely really monitoring both 92 and 93L. They could be depressions rather soon as well, but really monitoring. But it seems like basic tracks are going to be taking these out to sea here. That's basically kind of what we've seen. But it seems like this new disturbance here is really aiming possibly for the southeast. And if it forms, it could very well maybe be a tropical storm landfall for the U.S. But this is what we have at the National Hurricane Center. Let's go and check out now satellite imagery. So here's look now at Invest 92L. And as you see here, it's a decent amount of cloud cover. We do have this low pressure around right here sitting with all that cloud cover. We do have a lot of convection though to the north of this low pressure. It's all this convection sitting right here. I see it's extremely open. It's really, really open. A lot of, there's rarely any convection in this, so it's not looking too impressive here. But let's go and check out now before it gets later. We're starting to see a little bit more of convection starting to blow up in this part of that low pressure right there. Really, really interesting. We're starting to see some areas of convection blowing up here. Thicker cloud cover, more white cloud cover, which is what you're going to be seeing, which is going to help make conditions more likely for this to actually form. But really, really wide open, basically. Not looking impressive, obviously, even for an invest, but it's getting there. I mean, as you see, it was really wide open today, but now you're starting to see more and more cloud cover popping up. And where that low pressure is, so that could very well be some improvement here. But then it goes pitch black as the satellite does go dark as it's heading tonight. But 93L actually has a lot more cloud cover. You see a lot more cloud cover as it did come off Sierra Leone here. It does look a lot better than 92L. A lot more cloud cover, but not as much convection. We have little dots here with convection here, but it's not really impressive. And then it goes dark because it is night over there now currently. But as you see, it did look pretty good. So when it was visible to see, it did look better than 92L, and I think we can all agree that it has more cloud cover, at least more formation. Not really formation as in banding and all that, but it does have a better formation. It does have more cloud cover. It generally looks better than 92L. So here's a look now at Invest 92L intensity guidance, and as you see, a lot of models are getting this to at least a low-end tropical storm. So a lot of the models, I believe every single model guesses to forming, whether it's borderline, but every single model guesses to a tropical storm. So that is almost basically doesn't really happen a lot of times when it's an invest. But you see models show this being a tropical storm as early as 12 hours or as late as 36 hours, or as late as 72 hours. But so this is definitely going to form in the next 48 hours likely. We have a lot of the models going from 12 hours to 36 hours. So we can very well have Paulette within the next 24 hours, really. So we can very well see this being a tropical depression rather soon here. Maybe this could be a tropical depression by tomorrow. So could very well have tropical depression 16, I believe. It will be tropical. No, this will be tropical depression 17. This will be tropical depression 17, and possibly by tomorrow. Because I mean, a lot of the models, a lot of the majority are getting this in 12 to 36 hours. And then we have one or two getting this after that. But we do have only two models getting this to a high-end tropical storm, and they're kind of focusing on just around 50 miles an hour tops. So kind of focusing on maybe a mid-tropical storm, really. Tracks are all over the place, though. We have the COTI going all the way over there. That's definitely not going to happen. But as you see, models do somewhat to agree that's going to go like possibly west, northwest, like west. And then they just disagree from there. They go like this. They go like this. One goes like that. That's a Hawaiian model. And then like this. So models are all over the place, but this is generally possibly where this cone's part. This is probably the cone. Most likely, I don't see it going like this. I don't see it going like this. It's probably just going to be most likely going kind of west, northwest, and then start to take a turn. But really, as of now, the track and cone doesn't really matter at this moment because it's going to possibly just going to go out to sea. So we don't have, it's not that really it's going to impact whether it's going to hit land or not. But 93L, on the other hand, possibly will do a sharper turn like that. So models are actually agreeing a bit more. So this is basically the cone, though. But so it's going to go out to sea. Won't hit the United States, won't hit the Caribbean, probably won't hit any land at all, except for those couple islands off Africa. But this is generally just going to go out to sea here. So looks like 92 and 93 will most likely both be out to sea storms. But as you see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 models getting to a hurricane. And then, what's interesting about this is 93L, every single track or model on 10 guidance shows it being named as well. We have these 3 models showing it being named in 108 hours, which definitely is a lot later than it possibly will be named. And I see the majority of the models getting this forming as early as 12 hours to 36 hours as well. That's the majority of the models that are showing it forming. So we can very well have Paulette and Rene actually very, very soon here. And then it looks like the models show that's going skyrocketing in strength. And 4 get this to a category 1, and 1 almost gets it to a category 2. So it could be an out to sea hurricane. And I did say, if you guys saw my comments, that I did say, responding to someone saying one of these could possibly be a hurricane. I mean, these both have a shot to be a hurricane. And it seems like it possibly weakens, and then it seems like they kind of go steady up, maybe back to a hurricane, you know. So it seems like they go strengthening, and they got possibly like saying weakening, maybe going back to a hurricane for the second time. Is that what the models will be showing? But it seems like we can very well see Paulette and Rene very soon. Here's looking at the GFS model. As you see there, we got Invest 92L at 1,006 millibars, and then 93L at 1,006 millibars. So 93L just basically, it could be a lot stronger than 92L, and that's kind of, or I wouldn't say a lot stronger, but 93L is possibly or almost very likely to be stronger than 92L, and we all saw that. Even models predicted that because 92L is going to be first, so it's going to be getting those impacts, and that's going to help clear out conditions for soon-to-be Rene, or that will be Rene at the moment. But as you see, in 24 hours, there these systems are. As you see, GFS shows 92L being at 1,002 millibars in 24 hours, which means it could very well be named. Same thing with 93L, 1,003 millibars, and then it seems like from this point on, at that point on, it seems like a 93L just seems to be taking off here. It's the 92L goes to 1,007 millibars, 1,005, and then it seems, look at this, 93 gets to 983 millibars, which is a Category 1 hurricane, and it gets to 986, 988, 997, and then it starts to weaken again, and then strengthens it once again, And then GFS shows another storm coming off Africa in around 96 hours, and showing it being another hurricane going out to sea here. So it seems like a lot of these storms are going out to sea, which I find really interesting. So, but as you see, it seems GFS gets this to 93L to 983 millibars, but it could be a Category 1 hurricane here, which is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting here. It could even be possibly even a Category 2. And then we have another storm coming off Africa that can be 975 millibars and going out to sea. So it seems like a lot of these that are coming off Africa kind of do the same turn. They're kind of all going out to sea here. But really watching, what was this going to do? Is this heading that way? Or is it just going to be like going like this? That's exactly what we're really going to be watching for. But let's go check out the CMC here. See what the CMC shows, shall we? So in the next coming hours, as you see, there it is, 1,006 millibars for 93L and 1,005 millibars for 92L in 24 hours. So could possibly both be close to forming. And then also CMC gets that third storm coming off Africa and not around 96 hours as well. But you see, it seems like the CMC shows actually 93L dying and 92L thriving, getting up to 994 millibars. And then going up to 980 millibars, 978 millibars, and then CMC gets that third storm up to 999 millibars, and then even something in the Gulf. But I find it really interesting that CMC shows the completely opposite and showing 93L dying and 92 actually doing what 93L should be doing. Let's take a look at the shear here, see the conditions. As you see, both of these storms will be hitting in a little area in the NBR that has very little shear. In some areas, actually no shear. So that's what's going to help them get named and form before they go further out to sea here. And as you see, there's going to start seeing a little bit more pockets. There's going to be a little bit more pockets of no shear now. It's going to be a huge, bigger window now, a way bigger window, which will help make these storms at least continue to strengthen a little bit. And then there's going to be a very big window following these storms, which is why possibly 92L, maybe 93L could continue to strengthen here in the next coming days. But now let's go check out look at the wind shear here for not the wind shear. Let's go and look at the precipitation, even though we just looked at wind shear right now. Check out look at the precipitation. I see you're starting to see a lot of moisture coming out from this monsoon tropical wave from Africa. That's where we have 93L, and that's where we have 92L has a little moisture bubble here. That's exactly why GFS shows 92L dying and 93L thriving, because of that dry air. You see it's going to open up. It's going to open up the low pressure of 92L, which will probably be Paulette at that time, and then kill it. But that's going to help push that moisture into the path of 93L, which will help make it thrive. And you see, boom, it's going to take that moisture, and that's exactly where it'll be at its strongest. And then it gets overtaken by that dry air at that moment. That's actually going to possibly that high pressure, this very strong high pressure, is going to push it. It's going to possibly push 93L towards the west here. That's going to be extremely interesting, because that the same thing could happen with this storm. That the high pressure is so strong that when it turns that, it just gets pushed like that, and that could very, very well happen. That's actually very interesting. You see, going straight up north, and it just gets taken to the west, and that will be interesting. That will be very, very interesting. Could that mean that it goes north like that, like models anticipate, and then it goes just like that? Could that very well happen? I know it's a very weird track, and it looks like it won't happen, but it could very well happen if that high pressure system does get stronger, and it does block it from continuing to go like that. It's gonna have no way but to move west. And that could very well happen, and that could possibly maybe continue to maybe raise the threats for maybe a southeastern impact there. And if the same thing happens with this, that could very well even be another shot for maybe even a double threat for a portion of the southeast, because that's even at 981 millibars, so it could still get influenced by that high pressure and the Bermuda High. So guys, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe, and bye guys.